Does a backpack really make a difference? Hi everyone, my name is Isabel DiFiore. I am the founder and CEO of Bella's Backpacks, and I'm here today to talk to you about what Bella's Backpacks is. So first off, Bella's Backpacks is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that I started at 12 years old to support children who come from abusive and neglected households. But it did not become an official 501c3 till May 10th of 2024. So first off, I want to go over the origin of how Bella's Backpacks got started. So, how old were you when Bella's Backpacks started? I was about 12 years old. I was sitting in the car with my mom. Ever since I was young, I always helped out in my community. I wanted to do something special once I got older that I felt very passionate about, and supporting children in adverse environments was that thing that I felt very passionate about. And what kind of brought that inspiration was a program called Backpack Buddies that was at my elementary school. Many of my friends were a part of that program. They packed bags filled with canned food items for the children to take home with them over the weekend so they would have food to eat. Many of my friends were a part of that program, which meant they came from situations that maybe weren't the best situation for them. And so knowing this, I wanted to do something to support children in those types of situations. Second off, I want to go over partnerships. Partnerships are the heart of what make an organization run. Having good partnerships helps you to gain connections, gain donations, supplies, as well as the resources necessary in order to continue your organization. My very first partnership was Mitchell Community College. They actually put on a 1-month donation drive for Bella's Backpacks to be able to gather the first supplies that I needed, as well as the first 20 bags that I needed to deliver to the Dove House, which is a child advocacy center here in Statesville, North Carolina, serving Alexander and Iredell County. The Dove House, a child advocacy center, supports the children in their time of need by setting up court cases, by setting up private forensic interviews, by setting up doctor visits for the children to make sure that no physical harm came to them. And if there was any physical harm done to them, then they will be sent to the nearest hospital that child advocacy center is partnered with. Mitchell Community College has been a very good outlet for Bella's Backpacks, especially whenever I first started. I didn't really know anything about child abuse. I didn't know how to start my own organization, my own nonprofit. And so thankfully, with the help of my grandma and many other resources that I have at Mitchell Community College, I was able to talk to so many different adults that had so many different resources and people for me to talk to and for me to get to know, so that I could start this mission and start supporting children who came from adverse environments. Now, like I said earlier, Bella's Backpacks was not always a 501c3. I actually became a 501c3 officially on May 10th of 2024. And it was with the help of the Statesville Rotary Club by donating $250 to Bella's Backpacks to be able to send in the application to acquire my 501c3 nonprofit status. Of course, I back then was still very young. I mean, it was only almost 2 years ago, and I was really unsure of how far Bella's Backpacks would come. I was also not the best public speaker, so I honestly didn't see it coming at all. But thankfully, I do better in private when I talk to people about something that I'm passionate about. Now I am a lot better about talking in person with a whole group of people in front of a camera about what I'm passionate about, advocating for these children. And so at that meeting, after I gave my presentation, one of the members of the Statesville Rotary Club motioned to donate $250 to Bella's Backpacks to be able to acquire my 501c3 nonprofit status. And so, of course, that was a tremendous help, because then with the help of our former mayor, Costi Couttet, I set up a meeting with him free of charge. It was, he donated his services to be able to help me and my mom navigate how to send in the application. So we went to his office. We sat down for about an hour and a half, just talking through the process and talking about where I see Bella's Backpacks going one day, because he really does believe in my mission, and I'm so thankful for that. So, of course, after that was all said and done, we sent in the application, and we were told that it would take a minimum of 6 months to get back, but I really wanted my 501c3 nonprofit status as soon as possible so I could start helping more kids. And luckily, by the grace of God, I don't know what happened, but I got it back within 2 weeks that I was an official 501c3. And I'm so thankful for that. And I'm so thankful for the Statesville Rotary Club and our former mayor, Costi Couttet, for helping me achieve that goal. Other partnerships that I have acquired that have been a tremendous help are Levine's Children's Hospital, NGK Ceramics, the Statesville Women's Club, and Novant Healthcare. For the past 3 years, Novant Healthcare has provided the backpacks for Bella's Backpacks to be able to pack all my supplies in. Levine's Children's Hospital, whenever I first started, donated a dozen different items that I was needing, because at that point I wasn't a 501c3 yet, so I couldn't apply for grants. And getting supplies was more on the difficult side because I was new. And so it was thanks to them that I was able to continue my mission the first year and a half. NGK Ceramics has also been a very big help. One time they packed 50 bags for me, filled with very nice water bottles, blankets, and many other supplies that I put in my bags. Which is actually bringing us to my next point, is what I put in the bags. So within the backpack is a blanket for the children to have during their physical examinations at these child advocacy centers, because sometimes it can feel very nerve-wracking to be in that type of situation. So to have something comforting them, something of their own to have, can be very comforting. I also put a coloring book, a notebook, colored pencils, pens, crayons for them to artistically express how they are feeling, because words can be very difficult. Trust me, I know. But through having something to write down, or having a coloring book just so they can ease their mind or ease their anxiety about their situation, it really helps. Art is such a beautiful thing. It can really help children through any situation, not just children, but anyone really through any type of situation. I also put a water bottle in there. I actually have an interesting story about the water bottle. About 2 years ago, one of the workers at the Dove House told me about this little girl who came in, and she received a backpack. Her mom was there. She was in the family room. She was unpacking the bag. Her eyes were so bright. Her smile was so bright, and she was just taking everything out of the bag. She wanted to see everything that was in there. And when she finally got to the water bottle, she stopped, looked at it, and it was one of those water bottles that have a button that you have to press in order to flip open the lid. And so that's what she did. She pressed the button and the lid popped open, and she was so excited. I mean, so excited about that water bottle that she immediately jumped up and ran over to her mom and told her mom. She was like, Mommy, look, I have a water bottle. It has a button to pop open the lid and everything. She was so excited about that water bottle, and that just warmed my heart so much and made me realize how much we take so many of the things that we have in our everyday life for granted. I mean, a water bottle, I have a cabinet filled with dozens of water bottles, but it's not something that I think is very important, but it is very important because that little girl didn't have one of her own before she received one in my backpack. And that was just a very, very heartwarming moment. Something else that I put in the bag is a little piece of paper with an inspirational quote and my favorite Bible verse on it, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The Lord has been a vessel in my life, especially within the past several months. He's someone who never leaves your side. He never abandons you, and he will always give you strength and wisdom and courage through difficult seasons. And that is what I want to share with the children in these situations, that no matter what situation you're going through, you are strong, you are capable, and through the Lord, you will be able to persevere through any difficult situation. Now, of course, that's not all I put in the bags, though. I also put a stress ball for the children to have during their forensic interviews because, again, words are very difficult and it can be very nerve-wracking and make them very anxious to talk about what they've gone through. And so a little stress ball or a little fidget toy is very, very important for them to have throughout their interview, as well as just some other little things like hygiene items, hairbrush, toothbrush, toothpaste. I put a little snack in there, and then I also put a little lip balm in there as well as some hand sanitizer for after they're finished with their snack. Now, let's get on to what I've learned through having my own nonprofit. Definitely is that I have to be very resilient through many types of situations. I've had to build my self-confidence when it comes to talking in front of large groups of people. I've had to do that more times than I've been able to count. I've gone up on stage and talked about my Bella's Backpacks and about the passion that I have for advocating for these children. I've talked in front of little groups of people. I've talked to so many different types of people, and it has given me such an outlet for connections within my community. It's also brought me closer to the people in my community, getting to know people and what they've gone through, get to know their stories and what they're passionate about as well has been very eye-opening to me and has been the best thing that I could have asked for. Talking to people, like I said, can be very difficult. It's difficult for me to even do this. I was very nervous beforehand and still am pretty nervous, but I am so glad that I'm able to do this, to be able to share my story, to be able to share other children's stories, to be able to advocate for the ones that can't advocate for themselves, but also to teach you all how to be resilient through difficult situations, how to start your own business or your own nonprofit, whichever you are wanting to do, how to find the confidence and find the resources and find the support group necessary to be able to help you get to where you want to be in life. Next, I would like to share another story. This is a story of a little girl and a little boy who I met about a year and a half ago, through a partnership that I have with Guardians of the Children. They have been a tremendous help. I am partnered with their High Country chapter in Wilkesboro, as well as their Troutman chapter. And to say the least, they have been a very good resource. They have been a very good support system, and I'm so, so grateful that I met them and that I have been able to acquire this partnership with them. At the very first meeting that I was at with them, I got to meet a family, a 10-year-old little girl, a 13-year-old boy, and their mother. Now, of course, their father wasn't there because their father was the one not treating them very well. we all hugged a little teddy bear for her and her brother to take home with them to help them feel safe. But they also raised money for this family to be able to set up a court case to help with their situation. And that was very difficult for me to hear and to even see what the father had done to the little girl and to the boy and to the mother, that I wanted to do something special for both of the kids, especially since the little boy was going into middle school. You know, it's a rough transition, especially with everything that he's gone through. So I wanted to do something special. So me and my mom went to our local Walmart and we bought 2 school bags with matching lunch boxes for the little boy and the little girl. We bought tons of school supplies to fill the backpacks up with, as well as with Bella's backpack supplies. So it did have a blanket in there and a coloring book and a water bottle and a toothbrush and toothpaste and hairbrush and all the other things that I put in there, but it also had the necessities for a new school year. Not only that, but we also collected gently used school clothes and shoes for the little boy and the little girl. A couple weeks later, we went up to Wilkesboro, where we knew the Guardians of the Children would be having their annual back-to-school bash for the community. And we knew that the family would be there. So, of course, we brought all the supplies. We brought the backpacks. We brought the lunch boxes. And when we got there, we talked to some of the people from Guardians of the Children. We were like, hey, we have all this stuff for the little girl and the little boy. We want to give it to them as a gift. We want to let them know that they are so loved by me, by my mom, by this organization. And we want to do something special for them. So we got this backpack, these clothes, when can we give it to them? And they were like, that is so amazing. They will be here in 10 minutes. So we waited for about 10 minutes once we got there. And then once they got there, we walked up to them and we told them, we have this supplies for you. We have this stuff for you. We want to give it to you to help you through this situation. The mom, you could tell, was so grateful. They were struggling financially as well. So the mom was also very worried about how to get school supplies for her kids, how to get new school clothes for her kids, but luckily we were able to do so. And I'm so glad that we did, because whenever I handed the backpack to the little girl, she was very shy. She always looked down at the floor, always stayed very close to her mom, wouldn't talk to you really. You could just tell that she had been hurt many, many times. And because of that, it affected her very deeply, especially at such a young age. I mean, 10 years old. But whenever I gave her the bag, she looked up at me, she looked directly in my eyes, and she smiled so big. And she just started looking through all of the supplies in the backpack. And the little boy, he was very grateful too. He mentioned how he was very nervous to go into middle school. I mean, trust me, I know. I was in middle school once. It's very nerve-wracking. It's very different from elementary school, I will say. But I'm so glad that I was able to do this for them, because you could just see a little ounce of joy brought back into the little girl's eyes. I mean, after what she went through, she probably felt like she had no support. She probably felt like she couldn't get through this, but I'm really glad that I was able to provide just a little ounce of hope to her and her family by providing the supplies to them. Some of the struggles that I've gone through with having Bella's backpacks is that you're going to be told no. I mean, that's with any business that you start, because even though Bella's Backpacks is a 501c3 nonprofit, it is still a business. It needs to be run like a business. It needs to be financed like a business. So saying no is also very common. I mean, even though this is a very worthy cause, even though this is something that I feel like tons of people should know about and want to help and support, you will still get no for many different reasons. Either the organization that you asked for help from doesn't have the means necessary to be able to support you. They already have a ton of different partnerships that they are supporting and giving money to. So again, that's where the money comes in. Some organizations don't have enough of it. Some organizations have too much of it, and so it really, you can't take every no to heart, because no is a part of life. You're not always going to be told yes. So you need to basically deal with it and learn how to move past it and learn how to grow from it and learn what needs to be changed and where to go from there. And I'm so thankful that I have had my mom to help me so much through this. Again, I was 12 years old when I started Bella's Backpacks, and I'm 16 now. So I'm still a kid. I'm still a minor. And so to want to do as much as I've done, I'm so thankful for all of the partnerships, all of the resources, all of the people in the community that have been so willing to support me and help me through this journey. Another thing that comes with that is sometimes you will be tired, especially if you, actually at any age that you start your own business or own nonprofit at, you will be tired. You will not want to do one thing or another. And sometimes you will question why you started, why you decided to do it, why you're still doing it. But the thing is, remembering your why is so important. My why is because I had and still have friends in situations like this. And it's very important to me that they get the help that they need, that they get the resources that they need in order to get into a better situation, and so that they can come out stronger, and so that they can come out feeling not like the victim, but the victor, because they learned so much about themselves. They gained so much self-confidence, so much self-worth, and they gained so many new people to talk to and go to with resources to help them. It is because of the people in your life that you are able to get through difficult situations. And that is why I continue Bella's Backpacks. That is why I want to continue expanding and growing, gaining more partnerships, partnering with more child advocacy centers across the state of North Carolina, partnering with more organizations that support children in adverse environments, in abusive situations, because it is so important that they get the support and the resources they need. Some child advocacy centers that I am partnered with are the Dove House, which is here in Statesville, North Carolina, serving Alexander and Iredell County. Safe Light, which is up in Hendersonville. Safe Spot, which is in Wilkes County. And then the Dragonfly House, which serves Davie and Davidson County, right outside of Thomasville, North Carolina. These are just a few of many dozens of child advocacy centers across the state of North Carolina. So if you know someone who is going through a difficult situation, such as this type of situation, those are 4 CACs already that you know of, that you can give them the contact information for, that you can research and contact yourself if you're going through a situation, if you know someone who's going through a situation, or if you just want to know a little bit more about some of the amazing organizations that are just here in North Carolina to support our citizens, to support the people who are going through difficult situations. If you liked this podcast episode, if you liked what you heard, please consider commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends this podcast so it can continue to grow. If you would like to get involved with Bella's Backpacks, visit my website, www.bellasbackpacks.com, for more information about what I do, for more information about how you can help within the community, as well as my Bella's Heart Ball, which is coming up March 28th. It is to raise money for Bella's Backpacks as well as the American Heart Association. It is a fundraiser that I've put on for the past 2 years. I'm trying to grow it each and every year. And I will actually have one of my newest partners there to sell her book. A portion of every book sold goes towards Bella's Backpacks. That will be on the next podcast. But for now, keep growing, keep learning, and keep hope in your heart. Thanks for watching.